policy, governance making mechanisms, or polity itself. What are the water governance legal matters related to water and governance, or land governance, or environmental pollution, or waste management and all that. Okay, this we will not be covering in NCERT class. This we will be studying when we are studying in environment class. Okay. And then paper 3 में तो directly they can ask you about any convention protocol, because environment core part is part paper 3 only. So they can be asking you any question related to some of the conventions, protocols, FCCC, COP, some of the international meets of environment से they can be asking question. ठीक है. Paper 4 is only ethics, so we don't expect any pure environment paper. Okay? So paper 1, 1 question, 2, 1 question, 3, 1 question. This is definite. More than this can come, but this will be the minimum. Okay? 3 questions will definitely be there. Plus environment related indirectly, when you are writing other answers, other subject answers also, environment related pointers you should be adding in other answers. Okay? Because it is a very dear area of UPSC. Environment and Indian society is one of the most dearest area of UPSC. So environment and Indian society is expected to be part of your essay paper also. Okay? So environment overall has a very heavy weightage. Okay? Now your essay paper ke baare mein you have an idea ki 4 topics will be asked in part A, 4 topics will be asked in part B also. Okay? You need to choose 1 topic from part A, 1 topic from part B. 125 marks here and 125 marks here. Okay? A total of 250 marks will be part of your paper, essay paper. 250 marks is the marks of all the GS papers. GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4 all contain 250 marks questions. Language paper 1, language paper 2, 250, 250. Okay? No, it is I think 200 only. Language paper is 200, but these are qualifying. Okay? Then your optional 1, optional 2, both 250, and essay also 250. Okay? So 250 is the standard marks for all the GS papers, optional plus essay. Okay? And paper prelims ka paper 1 contains 100 questions, every question 2 marks. Okay? You know this, negative marking is for 0.6. So every question that you are marking negatively, incorrectly, minus 2/3 will be deducted. Okay? So talking about my subject, that is environment. We'll begin with the first book, that is class 5 environment. Class 5 ka, there are some parts in class 5 book of NCERT that contains environment related issues. Okay? So beginning with the first book, that is class 5. Okay? They are talking about sense organs of animals. Okay? And you can write simultaneously. As and when we are discussing, you can write simultaneously, but your expression tells me whether you are understanding things or not. Okay? So time to time you need to look up also. Okay? Okay. Talking about the sense organs of animals. Okay? The first animal that we are reading is ants. Okay? 2023 mein, correct, huh? They have asked about one dance of honeybees. Okay? Bees rather, not honeybees, all kind of bees. Okay? So they have a waggling dance they call. Okay? Waggling dance mein they will, bees what they will do, they will dance in a direction like this. They will go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? And this will be in certain angle to the inclination of sun, in which they are telling ki its direction mein you will get food. Okay? So you need to proceed, you need to follow me along this line only. So for example, this is sun and here is food. So in this direction they will be dancing. This is known as the waggling dance. Okay? And everybody else has to follow the waggling dance of the bee which is searching food. Okay? So they have asked this kind of questions also. Okay? So with respect to ant, we will be studying about how do they communicate about food, about danger and all that. Okay? Talking about ants, they have a very strong sense of smell. Very, very strong sense of smell. Just like dogs, they also have a very strong sense of smell. Okay? So about their sense organs, one is an eye. Okay? They do not have simple eyes like us. They have a compound eye. Compound eye matlab every small part ke liye a new image will be created. For us, this is a simple eye. So all the rays coming to the eye will get converged at focus and will create an image at retina. Okay? Retina is the place in eye which is image capturer. Okay? So for us, that is how we see. But for them, you imagine there are so many retinas, okay, and so many smaller eyes. You see, eyes ka image. This is the kind of image created by a compound eye. Okay, so many small images will be created, and all of these images will be compiled together so that the ants are able to process this. Okay, this compound eye is present not only in ants but also in insects also. Wherever you have seen the insect having bulged eye, big bulged eye, that is usually a compound eye. You have seen in eye of an insect? Any insect? Which insect? Not seen. Not seen the eye of ants also. Not seen the eyes of ant also. This, I'll enlarge this image. Be able to understand. This is the image of eyes ant. Okay? And it is very much bulged outside. Okay? With respect to insects also, eyes are very much bulged outside. Okay? So these are usually compound images. Sorry, compound eyes which create such kind of images. Okay? Talking about one of their another body part, which is exoskeleton. All their bones are outside their body. Okay? And this exoskeleton is known as chitin. CHITIN. Okay? Chitin is a very strong bone, very strong bone. You see, have you seen ants carrying almost triple the weight of food on their back? That is because of exoskeleton chitin. Okay? Sugar crystals, entire block of sugar also they will be able to carry at their back. That is because of a very strong exoskeleton. Okay? Plus, their blood is also colorless. Okay? You have to tell me what is the color of human blood. Red. Thank you. Why is it red? Red blood cells. Correct. Red blood cells contain what? Hemoglobin. What is the task of hemoglobin? To carry oxygen. So hemoglobin present in RBC. Okay? RBC ka structure is like peda. Biconcave. You understand what is peda? No. Yeah. Huh? White peda, correct. Any peda, Mishra peda, any peda. Okay? This is the structure of an RBC. Okay? And it contains only hemoglobin. No nucleus also. This is a cell not containing any nucleus. It contains only hemoglobin. The task of hemoglobin is to carry oxygen till the last mile, okay, of a human body. So, for example, if any organism does not need an oxygen transporter, it does not need hemoglobin, it does not need a red blood. So, for them, they do not need an oxygen transporter, because they will breathe through their skin. So, if they are directly breathing through their skin, they do not need an oxygen transporter. So, no hemoglobin, no RBC. So, no red color of blood. Okay? That is why their blood is colorless. Okay? That is true with most of the ants, most of the insects also. They will be having a colorless blood because they will be breathing through their skin. Okay? So they don't need an oxygen transporter. Okay? No confusion here? Okay? Next component of ants is pheromones. You want to write something? Do you want me to dictate something? If you want, let me know. Okay? Otherwise, if you can write simultaneously, it is better. Okay? Talking about pheromones. So, pheromones are a kind of hormones. Okay? Pheromones are emitted by us also. Okay? But different pheromones have a different role to play. Their pheromone, they also have a variety of pheromones. They will emit a different type of pheromone if they detect danger. They will release a different kind of pheromone if they are calling for their mates. they will release a different kind of pheromone if they are looking for food. Okay? So depending upon what is the need, ants will emit pheromone. Okay? And this we call as a pheromone trail. Pheromone trail matlab an ant which is looking for food will release a trail, release pheromone on their way. Okay? For rest of the ant, the task is they need to cover this pheromone, follow this pheromone itself. Okay? So they may not be walking in a straight line. They, for example, this is pheromone line. This is the pheromone trail. So they will go like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. You observe the movement of ant. It is in that manner only. It is never straight. It is this, then this, then this. They look like confused, but they are actually following the pheromone itself. Okay? So ants move by the pheromone trail. Pheromone trail ko they will be following like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay? Diagonally. But ultimately they are walking along the pheromone trail. Okay? Next is one of the acid that is present in an ant sting. Okay? Chiti kaati hai kabhi? Have you been bitten by an ant? Okay? Very commonly by black ant, it's very painful. But by red ant also, it is equally, not equally painful, little less painful, but painful. Okay? Because they contain an acid. That acid, the ant bite contains an acid called formic acid. Okay? And the pH, you know, what is an acid, you know? What is an acid? Correct. Any substance whose pH value is less than 7 is called as acid, more than 7 is called as a base. Okay? Their pH value is 2. The formic acid's pH value, when you are bitten by an ant sting, that pH value is 2. Okay? And it is highly acidic in nature. Highly acidic in nature. You know, in our stomach also, you have acid release. What is the acid that is released in stomach? Hydrochloric acid. Exactly. HCl. Okay? Hydrochloric acid is emitted. And any idea what is the pH? No, it is 1. Single. If you put that acid which is emitted in your stomach directly, if you put it on hand, this will melt. That is the capacity of pH 1 acid. Okay? So imagine if you are hungry and you are not eating, that much amount of HCl is getting emitted in your stomach. That is why people, if you stay hungry for a long period of time, you tend to develop ulcers. Ulcer is something which is swollen because that HCl was directly released in your stomach. In your stomach, there is a protective lining, a base lining, which is protecting your stomach line from this low pH HCl. Okay? So that is 1. You imagine this will melt. This is 2 or 3. You imagine how painful it will be to get bitten by an ant. Okay? So this is all about ants. There is one part in ants which will help ant to detect whether they belong to my family or not. Okay? Ants will not follow the pheromone trail of a different family. They will be following the pheromone trail of only their own family. Okay? How do they detect? Is a segment in their body called petiole. Okay? Petiole. And this, if it is a single segment, whether the family is from single segment petiole or a double segment petiole, on that basis, they will be detecting whether they belong to my family or not. Okay? Done? Understood? Pheromone is released from tail, thorax, head, thorax, and abdomen. It is released from abdomen. An insect body or an ant body is divided into 3 parts. One is head, the other one is thorax, the last part is abdomen. So abdomen ka tail se pheromones are released. Okay? Okay. Okay, talking about red ants. You would have definitely seen them. You know, these are invasive species. They are also known as red fire ants. What is an invasive species? Yeah, sorry. Resources. Correct. Invasive species are those species which will invade on the available resources. They are not usually not native to that location. They have come from outside. Because if they are native to that location, we will see today in food chain, food web, the task is anybody which is above in the trophic level, their task is to control the population of anybody which is below in the trophic level. Okay? There is a food chain, and anybody which is sitting above in the trophic level, its task is to control the population of anybody which is below in the trophic level. Okay? So this is possible. This triangular structure is possible only with respect to indigenous species, the species which have been living in an area. If you get a species from outside, they may develop, not necessarily, but they may develop such kind of immunity that they will not be killed by the upper trophic levels. Okay? One example, all of these categories are known as invasive alien species, IAS. Okay? Invasive alien species are those species which will eat up on the resources of existing species. Okay? Some of the other invasive alien species include water hyacinth. Have you seen water hyacinth? Grey pigeon you would have definitely seen. Grey pigeon is also an invasive species. Okay? You would have also seen black rats. They are usually restaurants ke bahar mein, if it is unhealthy, unhygienic conditions, so whatever you are, the rats that you see most commonly is a black rat, which is also an invasive alien species. Okay? So this ant, the one that you have seen most commonly, also known as fire red ants, are declared as invasive alien species native to South America, Caribbean regions. Carribean, Caribbean region. Okay, you know where is Caribbean region? West Indies wala region is the Caribbean region. Between North and South America, the entire set of islands, Panama, Nicaragua, Colombo, Venezuela, or Upper. After Mexico and before Brazil, whatever are the group of islands, this entire portion is known as the Caribbean region. Okay? They were native to that region. Okay? But then they were introduced to other parts of the world also. We will discuss when you are studying environment in detail. We will be discussing what are the causes of expansion of invasive alien species. Okay? But for some reason, they got expanded to other areas also. And in those areas, they started eating up on the available resources of existing ants. So they will eliminate. If you see a red ant somewhere, you will not be able to see a black ant in that region. Okay, they are eating up on the resources of black ant, so black ant population will reduce. Similarly, grey pigeon. That is what is the task of an invasive alien species. Grey pigeon ko if you find somewhere, you will not be finding any other bird in that region. Because they will be eating up on the available resources because resources are limited. So all other species of birds will leave that region. Okay? So this is red ants are invasive species native to South America. Okay? But then there are certain benefits of having red ants also. Okay? Certain benefits associated to red ants. For example, water hyacinth is also a invasive species. Okay? But the advantage associated to water hyacinth is it can remove toxic material from water bodies. So if you have water hyacinth in some water body, you will not be witnessing that deposition of heavy toxic metals. Okay? Heavy toxic metals include lead, nickel, cadmium, arsenic, uranium. These metals will not be present in that water body. But then there are disadvantages associated to water hyacinth also. It dies and creates oxygen demand. Okay? So water hyacinth, although is an invasive alien species, also has certain tasks to perform. So similarly, red fire ants also are an invasive species, but there are some major advantages associated to this. First advantage is soil aeration, and this you would have seen if you have been to any agricultural land. If you step on a piece of ant's house, okay, you see how well aerated it is. If you step on it, your legs will go down. So what is the meaning of soil aeration? That they are moving in and out of soil so much that they are allowing air to enter into soil. Okay? Which is one of the requirements of plants. Plants require well aerated soil. ठीक है. In fact, cotton and sugarcane plantations के लिए they consider red fire ants as a god, क्योंकि they will be helping in very good aeration. ठीक है. Also, it reduces the pest insect. So they will be eating upon whatever be the pest infected in that region on that agricultural plot. They will be eating up on those pests itself. For example, earthworms. ठीक है. Earthworms तो खैर better form हो गया. Flatworms, roundworms, any other infection causing worms, को these red ants will eat up. ठीक है. So because they are eating up, these pests will not be able to infect that agricultural piece of crop. Whatever be the crop, it will not get affected. Okay? So red ants have some benefits also, but then they are invasive species. Invasive species matlab, on an agricultural piece of land, if you have red ants, no other ants will be able to come in that region. Okay? But then these are advantages also. It reduces compaction. It is able to reduce compaction because it is able to aerate the soil very well. Okay? So that binding nature of soil will be loosened and the soil will be very well aerated if it has presence of red ants. Okay? No confusion here? Are you finding difficulty in understanding the topic? Okay. Tell me what is the topic that you are finding? Invasive alien species, you understood? Everybody. Okay? You understood why are we calling them as invasive species? Because they are eating up on the resources of other species which could have lived on that resource. Okay? So I am saying कि if you have red ants somewhere, they are eating up on the resource which could have been consumed by black ants also. See, हमारे लिए environment के लिए one thing you need to remember that human beings are not the only species available. There are so many different varieties of species that we need to conserve. ठीक है? So similarly, biodiversity, this is known as biodiversity. Biodiversity matlab various different kinds of animals, plants, fishes, reptiles, amphibians, all of this should coexist. Not one species should dominate over all of this. Currently, environment is a problem. We are discussing environment as a problem because human beings have tried to dominate the earth. We have tried to kill other species so that we can live. We have tried to deforest a piece of land so that we can live. Okay? So in this principle, in this economic development, we forgot this fact that human beings are not the only species living. There are other species also. So you need, the focus of environment is we need to protect the biodiversity. Various different kinds of species should coexist. Okay? And this species is one such species which is not allowing coexistence with other species. So we are calling it as an invasive species. Pakka clear? If you're not clear, please you need to stop me. Okay? Okay? That is what is the problem. See, if I'll give you option. If we deforestation is good for real estate, industries, metro transport. So is deforestation good? No. Why? So it is removing all other species. So then again we are thinking along this line only. If you are undertaking deforestation and creating a metro station in that area, it is good for metro transport, good for public transport, good for lower emissions, right? But it is not good because you are killing other species. Similarly, it is removing other species. Although it is good for agriculture, but it is not allowing other species to coexist, and that is a problem. We should, the focus should be you please be limited to wherever is your native state, native location. Because you expanding in other areas, although is good for agriculture, but you are removing other species from that location. Okay? The way I gave you the example of deforestation. Deforestation karke, if you are able to develop a building, high-rise building, 18 floors building, so a huge population you are accommodating in a small area, but you have deforested. So the problem is deforestation was the problem. Understood the fact? Okay? Okay, talking about next animal, next sense organs of animal, which is mosquito. Okay, that chapter 5 NCERT was talking about mosquitoes have a very strong smell. they can detect human beings or human blood by the smell of the feet, okay, or body heat. Body heat can be detected by tigers also, big cats also, okay, tigers, jaguars, panthers, they all can detect human body's heat. So then they can detect that there is a available prey, okay. Similarly, mosquitoes can also detect human beings by heat or by the smell of the feet, okay. Now talking about mosquitoes, have you seen them? Which one? Which one have you seen? This one you have seen? Okay. Any insect which is having a white color spot in their on their body, this is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Any insect having white color spot on their body is very dangerous. This species is known as Aedes aegypti, responsible for dengue, chikungunya. What happens in dengue? Platelet counts. There is a component of your blood which starts reducing. Okay. So dengue may the platelet count starts reducing and is caused by this kind of mosquito. Okay, which is known as Aedes aegypti. Aedes aegypti. AGYPTI. AGYPTI. That is the full name of this mosquito. Aedes aegypti. AGYPTI. ठीक है. ठीक है. So Aedes, Zika. Have you heard of Zika virus? Zika virus is also caused by Aedes aegypti only. ठीक है. What have you heard of Zika? Has anybody in India been affected by Zika? It is from Africa. But nobody in India is affected. Last year we had cases. Zika caused by Aedes aegypti. Kerala mein first case was reported in 2023, last year. Okay, for the first time. The problem with Zika is, otherwise it's a viral disease. Viral disease matlab running nose hoga, thoda fever hoga, and discomfort, nausea, vomiting. At max this can happen. But if a mother, pregnant lady gets affected because of Zika, she will lead to a childbirth. And the child's head will be smaller. Even if the body grows, this will not grow. Okay? Even if the entire body grows, this will not grow. And the child forever will have, as and when they grow, their head size will only be this much. If the head size does not increase, then their thinking capability starts reducing. IQ starts reducing. They will forever be, even if with the full grown body, they will be forever a child. This disease is known as microencephaly. Zika in pregnant ladies results into microencephaly. Done. Then is another, you have seen this, but you have not observed them. Okay. Another friend of ours causing malaria is the female Anopheles mosquito. Okay. You have seen this, but not observed them because of their, the unique thing related to female Anopheles is their sitting, inclination posture. You see, inclination posture will be 45 degrees from ground. They will be sitting like this. This is, and the size is also big. Okay, relatively, female Anopheles is larger than usual mosquitoes. Okay, this causes malaria. Done. Dengue chikungunya is a viral disease, bacterial disease, protozoal disease, fungal disease. Huh? Correct. Virus. Just now I said it is a viral disease. Running nose, cough, fever, and all that will come. All forms of viral disease का ये common symptom होता है. Usually, excepting HIV, which is also a viral disease, but running nose नहीं होता है. ठीक है? So usually, with respect to viral disease, you will have running nose, nausea, cough, fever, and all that. ठीक है? Dengue, chikungunya, Zika is all example of a viral disease. But this one, female anopheles से जो disease हो रहा है, this is malaria and this is a protozoal disease. Neither bacterial nor viral. This is a protozoal disease. ठीक है? This protozoa also affects human beings by affecting the RBC. This protozoa will go and settle in RBC. ठीक है? RBC का life is 120 days. ठीक है? If somehow you are able to reduce the life of RBC, the person will gain immunity from malaria. ठीक है? By let's say we have a hypothetical technology in which we can detect those RBC where malarial protozoa are sitting and reduce the sizes of reduce the age of this RBC. Usually it is 120 days. You reduce it to 10 days. So it will die very quickly. Malarial protozoosis, a person will recover very quickly. ठीक है? This happens. This is a nature's gift to those people who are having sickle cell. ठीक है? Sickle, usually I told you RBC का structure is like this. ठीक है? Biconcave structure. But there is one disease wherein RBC का structure itself changes into a sickle shape. जैसे धान काटते हैं. Have you seen a sickle? ठीक है? It turns into the shape of a sickle, and the life of this sickle is 30 days only. ठीक है? So the people who are suffering from, although this is also a very serious disease, but those who are suffering from this disease will never suffer from malaria. ठीक है? Very recently, 2023 में, we have been able to tackle with this disease also. India indigenously has developed a technology to make a person recover from sickle cell anemia. ठीक है? Otherwise, India में बहुत सारे बच्चों को, especially in tribal society, 33% is the percentage. मतलब 1/3 of the India's tribal society के children are suffering from sickle cell anemia. ठीक है? Talking about anopheles is done, AD is done, and last is a mosquito fish. ठीक है? So mosquito fish are basically a species which were introduced. Again, mosquito fish is a native species of Caribbean region. India में majority of the invasive species are native to South America. ठीक है? They were also native to Caribbean region and was introduced to India. ठीक है? Because mosquito fish will eat up on the larva of mosquitoes. Mosquito का larva कहाँ रहता है? Where is it placed? Water, surface of water पे ही mosquito will lay its eggs, right? So this mosquito fish will go and eat this larva itself. ठीक है? So mosquito fish was introduced with an intention that they will be eating upon the larva so that the total number of mosquitoes will reduce. ठीक है? So we will be having less cases of malaria. But otherwise, I'm talking about 15 years back from now. ठीक है? Malaria was considered as one of the most deadliest disease across the world. Maximum number of death occurring because of a disease was not HIV, was not cancer. It was malaria only. Okay? So there were so many innovative solutions introduced to deal with, to tackle with malaria. If you have been to a rural area, the senior most medical officer of a district, the senior most medical officer will be a district malaria officer. His designation is a DMO. Because the task is you need to deal with the malaria, reducing the malaria cases in your region. ठीक है? So talking about this, talking about mosquito fish, this fish was intended, this was introduced to other parts of the world, that you can eat upon the larva so that we can have a less incidence of malarial protozoa. ठीक है? But again, they have turned to be invasive. So mosquito fish, this is mosquito fish. Less than the size of half of a finger. Done? Understood? No confusion till here? Okay? Confusion? No. Am I going very fast or slow? Slow. Fast. Okay. Fast. Okay. 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 I'll reduce a little speed a little bit. But have you been able to understand all of this, or do you want me to repeat any topic? Tell me. Understanding. So many of you are reading for the first time. So it is totally understandable. So if you are not able to understand a particular topic, please ask me to stop. I'll explain it once. Okay. Acha. So mosquitoes. Talking about the diseases, we spoke about two diseases here: viral disease, one of the viral disease, one of the protozoal disease. What are the other pathogens? This set is known as pathogen. Pathogens are small microscopic elements, small microscopic living objects, okay, which will cause disease. These are you can call them parasites. Parasites because they will enter into human body and they will be eating up on the resources and be living inside the human body. Okay, we are worried about them because it affects us. Okay, so one pathogen that we discussed was protozoa. Protozoa, which is present inside the body of mosquito. Okay, which mosquito? It is Anopheles, female Anopheles. Okay, malarial protozoa will reside inside the body of female Anopheles. So female Anopheles becomes the vector of this disease. Any organism will be called as a vector of a disease because it will be carrying that pathogen. If you encounter this organism, you will be having that disease. Okay, so this is known as a vector for disease. Aedes aegypti is a vector for dengue, chikungunya, Zika. Okay. And mosquito fish was trained that it can eat upon the larva of existing mosquitoes, so that the total population of mosquitoes can reduce. What are the other solutions that you have seen conducted by the municipality to reduce the mosquito population? Remove the stagnant water bodies. क्योंकि water body के top surface पे mosquito will lay eggs. So if you remove the water body, we will be able to eradicate the disease. What else? Spraying. Have you seen what are they spraying? Did you check their cylinders? Nobody? Right? Because it is a moving vehicle. But otherwise, manually also it is carried out. Okay? This is most commonly DDT. Most commonly. Dichloro, diphenyl, trichloroethane not required. DDT ka full form they will not be asking. Okay? But what is DDT? What are we doing in DDT? We are trying to emulsify this. Emulsify matlab egg is staying on the water body, right? You add oil to this layer. Okay? So if you add oil, it will sink. The egg will sink inside the water body and the mosquito, the egg itself will die. Okay? So DDT ke alawa, some other areas where simple oil, kerosene oil was also used. DDT to late ka invention hai. I'm talking about my parents' childhood. Your parents' childhood mein, most commonly kerosene was also used. Because kerosene is like addition of an oil layer here. The place where egg larva is kept, the entire water body may you spray kerosene oil. So because of that oil, this will sink inside the water body and the mosquito will die. So these were some of the initiatives introduced to reduce the population of malaria, most importantly malaria related diseases. Okay? One option was कि Anopheles को you introduce mosquito fish, they will eat. Okay? One option was DDT. One option is removal of water body itself. Okay? One more option is GM mosquitoes, genetically modified mosquitoes. Okay? There was a time when malaria was very concerning for us. Okay? But now we have so many mechanisms to reduce malaria related diseases. Now the new problem is dengue. Okay? Every rainy season, it comes as a season of dengue. If you see the newspaper, there will be municipality headlines, state government's guidelines. कि आप ऐसा कीजिए, please remove the water bodies. You please stay away, keep the windows closed, make use of mosquito killing chemicals. All out हो गया. Make use of वो मच्छरदानी. What is it called? Mosquito net. Okay? So you need to make use of some devices so that you protect yourself, because the new problem is dengue or chikungunya, or most importantly Zika. Okay? So what have we done in this? What have you heard of genes? What are genes? GENE, not genes. GENE. You can understand genes as the information carrier of your body. Okay, it is present in our body and it is determining the color of your hair, the color of your eyes, your forehead size, your nose size, your nail color, your skin color, your hair, whether it is straight or curly. All of this information is stored in your genes. Okay, what will be the total production of RBCs, what will be the total production of hemoglobin, what will be the total production of how many times will you be blinking your eye. All this information is stored in your genes. Okay, you are capable of fighting what all diseases. Let's say कि बचपन में all of us have got hepatitis B का vaccination, that sign on your hand. ठीक है, hepatitis B का vaccination all of us have got. इसका भी chickenpox vaccination also all of us have got. But after 15 years, 10-15 years, your vaccination capability reduces and you can be prone to this disease again. You're available. I can suffer from chickenpox. Okay? So chickenpox, so almost we are about to eliminate, but I'm saying all this information, whether you are able to fight against chickenpox or not fight against chickenpox, is also stored in your genes. Okay? Whether you are capable of fighting against any disease or not is also stored in your genes. Got it? All information about your body is stored in your genes. Okay. Now, what we have done to the genes of mosquito, what we have done is we have introduced two genes in their body. Okay. One gene is that in the female body, in the female Aedes aegypti body, what we have introduced, we have introduced a gene that you will not be able to lay eggs. Okay. The female will not be able to lay eggs. So even if the female mates with the male, they will not be able to produce eggs. That means this generation closed. Got it? With respect to Aedes aegypti, we have done this one change. Second change is gene fluorescencing. Gene fluorescencing or a fluorescent marker gene. I'll show it to you. Fluorescent marker gene. Not able to. Fluorescent marker gene we have introduced. This gene, because of this fluorescent marker, this mosquito will glow at night. In dark, it will glow. Okay? Because of that glowing tendency, also more and more mosquitoes will come and mate with this mosquito. That means less of eggs laid by this. Okay? Plus, it is easy for the researcher also to find out, Acha, I have introduced this gene in these mosquitoes. And more mosquitoes coming and mating with this, matlab less eggs laid. Matlab we will be able to close that generation itself related to Aedes aegypti. Got my point? Okay. So this is one more technology already executed in Brazil, Panama, Cayman Islands, that it has been successfully, we have been able to reduce the incidence of dengue, chikungunya, Zika and all that because of this GM technology, genetically modified technology of mosquitoes. Okay. But then there is a serious problem associated with this. We don't know the impact on human beings. The problem with respect to genetically modified mosquitoes or organisms, living organisms whose genes are modified. Okay? Plants ke liye to, until and unless we directly go and consume them, you will not be affected. But animals ke liye, because they can move, you can easily get affected. I'm saying, if you try to modify the gene of a plant, until and unless you go and consume that plant, you are not going to get affected. But with respect to animals, if you make the changes in their genes and then they come and because they are mobile, right? So you can have a direct interaction with them. We don't know the consequence, what it can lead to. Okay? One part we know that we have been able to deal with dengue, chikungunya and all that. But we don't know what will be the new genetic sequence that can be created within the mosquito. Maybe it will become immortal. Let's say it will not be able to lay eggs, but it can itself turn out to become immortal. I'm giving you a hypothetical case. That is not possible. But hypothetically, some new technology, some new diseases it can develop. Okay? So, although it has been able to reduce the cases of dengue and chikungunya, and thankfully, no new cases of any new disease has been reported from this region. But it can lead to something like this. Okay? Understood? Akka? No confusion till here? Okay. Can I change the slide? You guys are writing something? Okay, next is our friendly neighbor, dogs. Okay. Okay, with respect to dogs, they have a very strong sense of smell. You know, they will detect the owner, their owner also by smell. Okay. So they have a very strong sense of smell. But I'm talking about a dog who is not having the owner. Stray dogs, basically, they will show territorial domination. Territorial domination mostly by urine. Okay, or excreta, animal excreta se bhi they will try to do the territorial domination. So if they have to conquer a territory, they will go and urinate in others' territory, and the other dogs will fight, and whoever is powerful, they will win. Okay, but territorial domination amongst dogs is shown by either urine or excreta. Okay. Now, India mein, talking about stray dogs, India mein 36% of the global death related to rabies is occurring in India. 1/3 of the global death of rabies is taking place in India only. Okay. What are the reasons for such a severe number of death? What are the reasons for such severe number of death of rabies? One is irresponsible ownership. For example, let's say a couple in India have adopted a dog. Okay, but for some reason they have to relocate to abroad. They will leave the dog outside. Okay, so irresponsible ownership leads to increased number of stray dogs. Okay, or poor waste management. Poor waste management, which calls for which is making easy food available for them. Okay, is also one of the reason for increased population of stray dogs. Okay, or lack of ABC program. What is ABC? ABC is animal ka vaccination program. Okay, animal birth control programs. Animal birth control programs. If you see some of the dogs, you will see cows mein you would have seen vaccinated cows ko there will be a yellow color plate here, a paper pinched into their ears. Some of the dogs ko you will see a ring around their necks. Okay? If it is found, then the dog is vaccinated for rabies. If not, it is not vaccinated. Other than this, if you have a proper owner also, they will be vaccinating their dogs and putting this band. Okay? So put up, if a dog is found with a band, usually it is vaccinated. If without a band, it is not vaccinated. Okay? So animal birth control programs may this kind of vaccination, rabies related vaccination, sterilization related vaccination. Sterilization matlab you mate with another dog, but you will not be having a progeny. Okay? So stray dog ka population we will be able to reduce. Okay? So animal birth control programs or lack of legal framework. Legal framework for what are the existing legal frameworks? It is Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. Okay? It is one such act which is talking about the law which contains the law which controls the population of stray dogs. Okay? Under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, if you are an owner, dog owner, it is mandatory for you to sterilize the dog. Okay? And it is mandatory for the government to sterilize all other dogs which are present in stray on roads. Okay? Government initiative is also collaboration with NGO for the sterilization and vaccination, and awareness campaign. Awareness campaign about food, matlab, open public areas may feeding should not be permitted. Because public area may, if you are feeding, so you are allowing the dogs to come and accumulate in a particular area. If you are allowing accumulation in a particular area, it can lead to any other dog bite. Okay? So, what can be the way forward? One is better execution of animal birth control program, which is not being implemented along letter and spirit. 100% implementation of animal birth control program is not being carried out. Okay? So, first of all, we need to do that. If there is an existing law, Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, we need to execute the law. Okay? Plus, public feeding should be prohibited and sheltering the unauthorized dogs. So, there are so many NGOs which are already sheltering the unauthorized dogs. We need to promote, fund, incentivize these kind of NGOs. Okay. Okay, next class also we have on Sunday. That time, please bring the atlas. Okay. Done? Shall I proceed? Okay, next is a good friend, birds. Okay. Birds may, have you seen ears? Ear of a bird, have you seen? Seen? So they don't have ear, is it? They have, but it is like holes. And that too is covered with wings, that feather. So you cannot see it, but they do have. Do snakes have ears? Do elephants have ears? Dogs? Snakes do not have ears. No holes also. Okay? They do not have ears, and it is their scales which can detect movement of any organism in and around them. Okay? So birds ke liye, thankfully they have ears. Plus, very interesting feature of birds is some of the birds have a fixed eye. You can move your pupil here and there, right? They cannot move their pupil. Okay? With the eyes on both the side of their head, they cannot move their pupil. So what option they have? Moving the neck. That is why birds will move their neck very frequently. If they are doing so, then their eyes are fixed. Okay? Eyes. Because it is not, they have body structure such that this eye can see everything from this vision, this eye can see everything from this vision. If you have to extend your vision, you have to shift your neck itself. Okay? Now, with respect to birds, we have a state of birds report. Okay? No. Not all birds have eyes fixed eyes. If you have seen any bird whose neck is moving very fast, usually in that case, their eyes will be fixed. Okay? But for other birds, they can shift their eyes also. Okay? Now, with respect to birds, we have a state of birds report. State of birds report says that so what are the recent report? What are we discussing under state of birds report? Okay. State of bird report says that there has been a decline, serious decline in the birds population. Are you writing the slide? Done writing the slide? I wanted to show you some numbers. Can I change the slide? We'll come back to that. We'll come back to the previous slide also. This is the number. Okay. A total of 142 bird species have been found to be declining. 142 species of birds have been declining. Okay. This is 78 plus 64. 64 is declining very rapidly. 78 is declining with a relatively slower pace. But in total, 142 bird species are declining in India. Okay. Who determines, who calculates the state of bird report? There should be a body doing this, but it is not. Usually, census is carried, any survey is carried out by an organization. Okay? India में human beings का population we calculate through Registrar General of India. Okay? World में animal का population, tiger का population is carried out by National Tiger Conservation Authority. Okay? But with respect to birds, it is the bird watcher. People like you and me, we will move with camera looking for birds. Okay? And it is their hobby to look for birds, to look for the variety of birds and study their behavior. Okay? It is them who come up with the state of birds report. Okay? So you can say that this is a report from common people directly and not from an organization. Okay? Now, talking about the state of birds report, it says, can I come to the previous slide? We'll discuss this slide also. So, talking about the state of bird report, first is the climate change. It says that the birds are declining because of changing climatic conditions. What is climate change? Changing of weather. There is a difference between weather and climate. Weather is for short term, climate is for long term. So we are discussing about climate change, matlab long term may change. You see the summer season, winter season in Bangalore, it begins now with, I think, January and ends by before February. Okay? Within the first week, December maybe winter season was not there in Bangalore. This year, at least 2023 May, it was not there. Maybe last week May, it was there to some extent. Okay? So winter season itself is shrinking. Summer season is expanding. Rainy season may intensity of rainfall is increasing. 2023 May, did you have rainy season in Bangalore? No. There was almost no rainy season in Bangalore. But otherwise, 2022 May, there has been flooding in Bangalore. Okay? Along outer ring road, there are floods. Okay? So this is climate change. Climate change, matlab, there is a long-term changes in the climatic. Every day's weather ko in a long term, if you see, it is changing. In terms of winter, in terms of summer temperature, in terms of winter temperature, it is changing. Okay? So why is it changing? All that we will discuss. But as of now, we can observe. You see, stepping out in the afternoon today, this is the month of February. First week of February also, afternoon 2 o'clock, if you step out, it will be very sunny. Okay? So winter season is shrinking. This is an example of climate change. The State of Birds report says that climate is changing, and because of that, the number of birds are decreasing. Why are they decreasing? First, because of the rising temperature. So that, and now there is a government advisory, please keep a bowl of water outside your house so that birds, if they are thirsty, they can come and drink water. So because of rise in temperature, their population is decreasing. They are also decreasing because of phenological mismatch. Phenological mismatch, matlab, birds will mate during a particular season. If this season is missing, they will not mate. Matlab, the population will decline. That is phenological mismatch. Let's say they are waiting for springs for mating. Okay? But there is no spring itself. In 1 year, if there was no spring, so they will not be mating and the generation will reduce. The population will reduce. Okay? That is phenological mismatch. Adaptation related deaths. So some birds are trying to adapt with the changing climatic conditions. If they are able to adapt, they will survive. If they are not able to adapt, they will die. Okay? So adaptation related deaths and malaria related deaths also. Birds are also suffering from malaria and dying. Okay? Why is malaria related to climate change? Climate change has increased the disease burden a lot. I'll give you an example. So many people currently in Bangalore are suffering from cold. Okay? Can you tell me why? Sudden climate change. Because daytime temperature, you see, it is very hot. And nighttime temperature, you see, is it hot? It is cold. It is not even normal. It is cold. Okay? So this temperature balance ko we are not able to absorb and we are suffering from cold and cough. So all in all, climate change is having some kind of disease burden. I'll show you when we are discussing about environment related class, when we discuss finish off NCERT and study the core part of environment, I'll show you that the climate related disease burden has increased significantly. The number of dengue and chikungunya or Zika virus cases that we have today and what we had 10-15 years back, there is a serious increase because of changing climatic conditions. Why is malaria related to climate change? Is because climate change has led to expansion of rainy season or contraction of rainy season. Expansion of rainy season, matlab malaria ka spread can increase or the intensity of rainfall in a particular area has increased. Okay? Or let's say urban flooding, urban areas, this area maybe we can witness floods during rainy season. You can witness floods. Water is getting accumulated in a particular area, which is calling for more and more dengue and malaria or chikungunya. So climate change is also leading to disease burden, increased disease burden. Okay? Some other examples we'll be discussing later on, but malaria related climate change, why are we worried about? You understood, right? Pakka? Should I repeat? Right? Okay. Why are birds dying? What other reasons are there? One is urbanization. Okay? Urbanization has led to habitat loss. Urbanization has led to deforestation. Okay? Large scale forests have been cleared off. So we have taken up on the habitat, the place where the birds will live, that we have already removed. Okay? That has led to the decline in population of birds. They have also been declining because of collision. Okay? And if you see the IT related high rise in and around outer ring road, you will see they will have some kind of bluish building. Entire building will be covered, will be made up of glass, and it will be, or fiber, and will be bluish in color, which can easily reflect sky. Okay? Sky will be, if you see clouds here on this building also, you will be able to see clouds. Okay? It looks very fancy, but for birds, they assume that this is also continuation of sky, and they will go and collide and die. Okay? Birds are also dying by the collision with buses, with motors, with vehicles. They are also dying because of all of this. Okay? So urbanization is also leading to mass death of birds. Okay? Homogenization. Homogenization matlab one single species of birds will be found. All other species eliminated. Okay? Let's say climate change may sparrow could not survive because sparrow cannot survive in extremely hot conditions. Okay? So extremely warmer conditions may there will be a uniform set of birds. All other birds will die. Okay? Because changing climatic conditions say they could not adapt, or they are basically bioindicators. Anytime if the temperature starts soaring, they will leave that place. Okay? Or shift to any other cooler place. So that has led to homogenization, one uniform set of species residing in a particular area. Okay? And invasive species which are eating up on the resources. For example, I gave you the example of grey pigeon. Grey pigeon which can eat up on the resources of all other bird species which are found. If they can, they will only be feeding on all of this. So rest of the bird species will leave that place. Okay? So invasive species have also led to decline in bird population. Energy infrastructure. Energy infrastructure, for example, wind turbines, big wind turbines. Okay? In the second half, I'll get it converted into PDF so that I can slide and you'll be able to see it more comfortably. Okay? Talking about energy infrastructure, which has also led to decline in bird species, because energy infrastructure such as big windmills. Big windmills will have wind blades and they can easily cut out on any of the bird species. Have you seen a windmill? Seen from long distance, right? It is usually not permitted that you can go close to a windmill. Okay? Usually it is in a dense forested area or a top of the mountain region where you can go. But I have got a chance to go close to a windmill and I have seen the number of bird species lying in and around there. Many number of bird species will die because of this kind of windmill. Okay? That is why usually Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change will be the blocking point if you are trying to set up, if anybody is trying to set up a windmill. Because Environment, Forest and Climate Change ki ministry is responsible for conservation of birds also. Okay? Plus transmission line. Electricity transmission line is also one of the major cause for death of birds. Okay? So these were some of the analyzed points for death of birds under the state of birds report. Okay? Feeling very sad? Sad, bad? Okay. By the end of environment class, when we finish off environment class, I'll make sure that you feel bad. That the impact of human being on environment is immense. Okay? Now, because you are not having enough information, so you may not be feeling that pain. But because I have been teaching environment for I don't know how many batches now, I genuinely feel the pain stepping outside and crossing over the entire ring road and with honk and pee. You will be able to understand. That's what I'm telling you. By the time we finish off environment, I'll make sure that you feel bad. What have we done to nature? Okay? NCERT says that there are two kinds of human beings. Okay? One is a human which will affect the nature.
Okay? Hello everyone. Are you ready to learn about the interim budget for UPSC? Join free live classes on YouTube happening on 15th of March 2024 at 10 AM. will make understanding the interim budget super easy. In this class, we'll cover everything you need to know about the interim budget, including key concepts, terminologies, and its significance in the UPSC exam. We'll discuss about topics like government revenue, expenditure, fiscal deficit, and also the impact of interim budget on various sectors. Our experienced teachers will be there to answer your questions and help you feel confident about the UPSC exam. Don't miss out. Sign up today and let's ace the interim budget together.